All right, I'd like to call this meeting of the West Essex Milwaukee School Board to order. Mr. Becker, would you please lead us in the pledge? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Suzette, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mr. Becker.
Here.
Mr. Keller is excused. Mrs. Carr. Here. Mrs. Sickett, Mr. Sickich is
Here virtually.
Zoom.
Yes, I can see him.
Great. Mr. Burns.
Present.
Mrs. Kaiser. Here. Ms. Deal. Here. Mrs. Lee. Here. President Lee.
Here. Proper notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the open meeting laws of the state of Wisconsin. Do we have any modifications to the agenda this evening?
No modifications.
All right, with that, we'll move right into the superintendent's report.
Good evening. Few updates on this week. DPI is now accepting public input as a part of their strategic planning process. The Department of Public Instruction recently announced that their strategic planning process is now open to public input. Since March 2023, DPI has been working on their strategic plan internally. Starting now, DPI is beginning the public portion of the process and will be accepting input from educators, students, and all community members with an interest in helping shape DPI's strategic vision. District recognitions. This recognition comes from Principal Goals over at DOCI. DOCI would like to recognize our district electrician, Jim Johnson. Like many of our district's dedicated facilities department employees, much of what Jim does is behind the scenes and can go unnoticed. Jim has played an integral part of transforming many of DOCI's innovative learning spaces. His work alone has provided numerous opportunities for learning that would not have been possible without his high level of responsiveness, hard work, dedication, and commitment. Jim has completed work in our aquaponics lab, our maker spaces, our culinary arts center, and basically every space in our school. I'm not sure where DOCI or our school district would be without Jim's contributions, but I can speak for DOCI when I say that he is highly valued and appreciated. Thank you, Jim. Again, that comes from Greg Goals, principal at DOCI. Summer Learning Camp. Amy Graff, Mitchell Summer Learning Camp site supervisor, would like to thank all of the teachers who taught at Mitchell this summer for everything they did to provide fun and engaging activities during the 6 weeks of summer learning camps. Thank you to Lori Gonzinski, Mitchell's secretary, for helping to keep the office and help room running smoothly each and every day. Also, thanks and appreciation go to principals and DLCs from Mitchell, Hoover, Irving, Franklin, Walker, and Madison for providing their support and assistance throughout the 6 weeks. And a final thank you to DeAndre Quick, Mitchell's facility attendant, and Margaret, Mitchell's cleaner, for everything they did to make Mitchell clean and inviting every day. Sorry about those typos. They also did a great job preparing breakfast and lunch throughout all of our summer learning camp. Our employees, EA and youth advisor, PD, Irving, would like to recognize occupational therapists Karen Frost, Kim Stickle, and Karina Ziels for creating and sharing a powerful presentation on sensory processing and integration to all of our district's educational assistants and youth advisors on their professional development day. It was an incredibly valuable learning day on last week. School services, Connie Bergman. Thank you, Jaron Stosenfeld Enrollment Center, for always working to help families with busing, enrollment, and change of address to ensure all students and families feel welcome from the moment they enter our district. I can definitely echo those sentiments. My wife and daughter said the same exact thing. So thank you to that team for working hard. Even I know the rush is still coming in this week. So thank you for all the work that they're doing. A couple of things on my visits since we've met 2 weeks ago. I attended 2 football games from each school, so Central and Hill. So a total of 4. Met with Village of West Milwaukee and City of West Allis officials. PTA President Alex Feeble. On August 18th, I attended the West Milwaukee National Night Out. Also the Rotary Club lunch, where I was upset with pride when I watched our students in our RAD program present over their accomplishments as well as what the RAD program provides them. Overwhelmingly, the comments were the socializing amongst their friends and being an outlet and being out of the house and being able to just be regular people and treated with respect. So that just hit me a different way, that particular program. Visited Central Hill and FLW for the first day back for teachers on August 28th, opening day this morning. I want to thank Board President Lee, board members Carr and Becker for being in attendance as well. Ladies and gentlemen of the public and the board, that room was electric. It was truly an electric environment. I have several pictures. You can go to the next slide. So just some things. We tried to keep it fun, energetic, at the same time, a learning environment. We had the learning demonstrations from our students as well. The strings played, so thank you to them as well. And then we had the wellness fair. We were captivated by our speaker, Dr. Monroe, and I even did a little dance. And so you know, it was truly a fun time, and the comments that I've heard from teachers, they just enjoyed having fun and relaxing, but at the same time learning. I did also on today visit our Cuts for Kids over at the Parks and Recreation Center. I want to thank Bobby Foreman for heading this particular program. I was just excited to see all of the kids lined up and parents waiting, as well as not only for haircuts, but we have beauticians in attendance as well. And so that was definitely a delight of the day as well. Just according to Bobby, he's expecting about 120 students to come through on today. And at that particular point, they were at about 100. So I think they'll meet their mark of 120 for today. Very impressive. Next slide. Just announcing and putting some things on your calendar. We do have our listening and learning sessions coming up. Those will be kicking off, I believe it's the second week of September, somewhere in there. We'll have a full calendar available by next week. We're just trying to finalize our dates right now. We will have those available. And I think there's going to average around 2 or 3 a week until we finish out to the mid of October. We are planning one session at each school. And so we're hoping that each particular listening and learning session will provide a unique environment for each school and their school communities to provide input to us. I do also want to announce publicly our Let's Talk feature that's been added to our website. This app will allow our parents to send in a quick question. If they want to complain about something, that's also available. But what's interesting is in this particular program, it has an algorithm. So it's able to sort of calculate and figure out what are the common things, and it'll create that button when those algorithms start to kick in. Right now, some of the topics we have are back to school bash. We also have first day of school, a button up there for that as well. So those are some common things, but it also will create those consistent things that come up from questions. The save the date, back to school bash, August 30th. We hope to see the community out. We are expecting a large crowd. The schools have gotten behind this particular event. They've sort of taken control. Each one are expected to have a table at the event. We've invited all of our community partners. So we're going to have food provided by Sodexo, burgers and hot dogs. I don't want to make it seem like it's, burgers and hot dogs. Sand art, games. We will have a DJ. Again, as I said, school participation, school supplies, and a photo booth. And that will take place at the West Dallas Farmers Market, 6 days. Our welcome home walks, August 31st. Each school will go out and visit students from their campuses who had absenteeism issues on last year. And so we're just trying to get ahead and be proactive on those students and working with parents, creating plans to make sure their students are successful and in school. So we want to thank each one of our principals as well as our teams for organizing their particular team, their events and their walks and their list. and we look forward to joining them on 31st. Just to put on your calendars again, Battle of the Dogs, Friday, September 15th. We will be having a cookout. And so we would like the community to come out and support our schools. I've attended, again, as I said earlier, 4 games so far, and the environment at our games is electric. There's a lot of participation, and the community is coming out. I've seen several board members out up there fussing and screaming. I won't say any names, Mrs. Lee, but you know, it's a great atmosphere, and so it's good to be a part of. And want to definitely invite everyone to come out on the 15th to support. And before I conclude, I realize I've been talking a long time. I wanted to recognize, and I'm going to ask board member Lee to come up, and we'll take a picture with her. And then I'll ask all of our board members to come up as well after. Kristen Pegenkoff is beginning her 35th year of service in our district. And there's an interesting fact, all 35 years have been at Pershing Elementary School.
Wow.
And so I told her this morning, I introduced her and recognized her at our opening day, but I said, you gotta come to the board meeting tonight, and we have to publicly recognize you. So let's give Ms. Pegenkoff, Mrs. P, as she's affectionately known, a hand at this time.
I love that the shoes match. That is awesome.
All those things that.
Yes. That's where I can print it.
You got a scooch.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And that concludes my superintendent's report this week.
All right, thank you very much. Now we'll move on to item 7, our public comments for this evening. For anyone who's watching via Zoom, there should be a link in the chat. If you would like to sign up for public comments, you have 3 minutes to address the board. Please start by stating your name and your address, and then you'll can have 3 minutes after that to give whatever comment that you need. There'll be not any back and forth conversation, but after you finish your comment, if there's any answer to a question or a comment that we can provide that's simple, we will do it at that time. Otherwise, we can provide a more formal response by the next regular Board of Education meeting. All right, so with that, we'll have Alfredo Hernandez. Over there, yep.
Hello, my name is Alfredo Hernandez. My address is 2773 South 76th Street. I reside in West Allis, Wisconsin. Today, I'm here to discuss our neighborhood. We have a child that's going to be starting Jefferson Elementary on September 5th, and the strip where we live at is off of 76th Street. And if you look at these pictures here, it'll show the intersection where or our daughter would have to be walking. So there's 76th Street, there's Beloit, and then that's Beloit, I'm sorry, 76th Street and Beloit, and then so on and so forth. And this is the map that shows where our address is compared to where the school is, where she would be walking. So she would be walking through 76th Street, Beloit, Lincoln, all these major dangerous streets. But when we called the transportation department, they said that that area is not designated a dangerous area. I also put in there a article of what happened back in January, a couple blocks down on Oklahoma, where there was a 3-car accident on a Sunday at 3 a.m. If an accident can happen on a Sunday at 3 a.m., I can only imagine what can happen during school hours. So I believe that the school district should really relook at that area on 76th Street. to be able to provide her some transportation because I don't know if that's a safe walk. And I did speak to the transportation department and she looked at the maps and she said that she agrees with me in my sentiment that it should be designated that, but that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will say that, Mr. Hernandez, we do work with the sheriff's department and they do evaluations of the intersections and they kind of designate what's going to be a safe intersection and what's going to require busing. And so, I don't know if that particular intersection or that area has been evaluated recently, but Aaron Norris, our assistant superintendent, can look into that and then see if we would have to request a new review basically by the sheriff's department, which might take a little bit of time, but just want to let you know that. So it's not something we're designating on our own, but we work with law enforcement to help with that. All right, thank you very much. I don't have anyone else signed up for public comment this evening, so we will close public comments at this time. And we'll move on to item 8, our board reports, starting with 8.1, review of our board calendar. So today is Monday, August 28th. We have a regular Board of Education meeting immediately followed by a closed session. Then on Monday, September 11th at 6 p.m., we have our annual public budget hearing and regular Board of Education meeting, I'm sorry. And then on Monday, September 18th at 6 p.m., we have our student services workshop. And then on Monday, September 25th at 6 p.m., we have regular Board of Education meeting and then a future recreation center at Lane site workshop. Moving on with our board committee reports, 8.2.1 employee engagement and culture. Mr. Burns.
Yeah, thank you. So we met on the 22nd of August and our meeting was pretty short and to the point with a lot of focus on the beginning of school, which we've already heard some of the things that have gone on. Talked about our vacancy report at the time, hovering around 6%. And still the work continuing to fill those. We also have building subs, which several of the positions were filled, though we still are having some difficulty filling the sped department, or at that time we did. And then we're also just looking at what was going on with the new teachers, a couple of the dates that we have for things that need to be done for training. Is in October 15th for some of the modules to be completed that we were having difficulty getting completed last year. And then what that would hold back if they weren't completed. And just then also the front line being set up, licensures being set up. And then just a note of all the different interns that we have, which is around 20 of them that are filling our schools right now and helping out. And then we're looking still at upcoming meetings and things that we're going to look at. And one of them is still reaching out to the teachers and seeing if there's some things that we can help automate, things that we can look at and give some guidance to take some stuff off the plate. So, and that's all we've done.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Burns regarding his report? Or any items for consideration at a future agenda? Seeing none, thank you very much, Mr. Burns.
Sure.
We'll move on to 8.2.2, our financial stability and efficiency. Ms. Kaiser.
Thank you. The Financial Stability and Efficiency Committee met last Monday, August 21st. We discussed a possible 2024 referendum and had a workshop for the entire school board later that evening. That workshop can be seen by the public on the school board's YouTube page. We will also have another referendum workshop in October. And other thing to address is that a concern that was brought from a public commenter about Sodexo was addressed and resolved. That's all we got.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions from Ms. Kaiser regarding her report? Or any items to be considered at future agendas? All right, seeing none, thank you very much. Move on to 8.2.3, recreation and community services. Mr. Becker.
Thank you. The Recreation Committee met on the 21st of August. First, we talked briefly about the boardroom relocation plan. That'll be discussed in detail on upcoming board workshop. We got to see the finished athletics one-pager report. Good news, it is down to one page. You've got QR codes broken down nice and simply by youth, adult, junior, and middle and high school sports. So nice and succinct. Good job by the rec program there. The summer rec program got a good update that the summer participation is up across the board, from youth to adult activities. The camp's participation is up so significantly that, because the Hill program was entirely full, Central opened it up, operations this year, and there was success there. So, really good news, from the Central team. We have a couple construction updates at the rec center. The addition is going to be about a month behind. The city's requested a firewall and fire doors. So it's going to take a little bit of extra time to develop and get the plans drawn. The lane construction update is that there was a plan commission meeting last week, Wednesday. It was just a discussion. It's really just the discussion around the rezoning from the school to recreation, as we've all heard before. I believe that's it. Yep, that's all.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Becker. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Becker regarding his report? Or any items to consider at future agendas? Seeing none, thank you very much, Mr. Becker. Move on to 8.3, board member reports of community events and the events board members like to report on about. They attended. Ms. Carr.
I have definitely been out and about lately. I had the honor to go to West Milwaukee Intermediate Schools community carnival bash about a week ago. And it was delightful. There were so many families there. It was so nice to see. Got to meet the PTA moms and made a wonderful connection there. And then I did go to the new teacher welcome last week. And then, of course, the all staff welcome today. And it really was delightful. I know you guys work. I know you would be there 100%. And you would have really enjoyed it. It was just like a well-oiled machine as far as the people that from behind the scenes that they put it together. It was so smooth and so meaningful and so memorable.
Thank you, Ms. Carr. Anyone else who would like to report on an event they attended? Mr. Becker.
I was also able to go to the West Milwaukee. It was the National Night Out event. I was struggling to. I didn't realize it was a city event. It's just held there, but it was really great. Got to see Principal Thompson over there and had a nice chat with him, and also met a couple of PTA parents. I also decided I heard so much about the Blue Dot training over the past year plus. I didn't know what it was about. So the Jefferson team was kind enough to let me come and tag along for a couple hours on Friday morning. So that was really good. I got to build a stomp rocket with some of them and go and launch it out in the parking lot. It was really cool. It was really, really worth the time. And then also got to spend some time with the new teachers at the welcome day last week, and then again this morning, just as Dr. Robinson said, really great energy. There was a good buzz in the building, so that was a good time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Anyone else want to report out? Mr. Sikich, I do see you waving, so I'll get to you. Anyone else here in the room before we move? All right, Mr. Sikich has something to say. If we could switch audio over, please.
Can you hear me? You can hear me? I just, two things. I wasn't there to give accolades to Kristen Pagankoff, but I've known her for many years when I was teaching. She was very active with our Teachers Association. So I would like to, if she's still there, even if she's not, congratulate her on 35 years. That's tremendous service to one building and one school district. And the other thing is a quick thank you to you, Noah, to be able to provide me with a link for the closed session tonight so that I don't miss any of the information. So thank you for that. That is all.
Little role in it, other than asking for Brandon to get it for me, but always happy to make sure that we can participate whenever possible. So looking forward to it. So I'll just briefly say I was at the new teacher welcome, and today it was great. I'm honored to always to be able to come and say a few words, and you know, it's great to see the energy that we have for this upcoming school year. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what I saw in that room come to fruition as we move out to our buildings and then welcome students back next week. So thank you for that. Anything else before I move on? Any other events anyone wants to talk about? Okay, then 8.4, I don't have anything to report this evening, so I'll move on for our consent agenda. We have 9.1 approval of minutes from our regular Board of Education meeting on August 14th and our board workshop from August 21st. 9.2, the employment summary. 9.3, supplementary contracts, and 9.4, our financial summary. Does anyone need anything separated out? Ms. Sickett, you're good? Okay, then I look for a motion.
To approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any last minute discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Just like just a thumbs up. Opposed? All right, that passes. Move on to our action items this evening, starting with 10.1, Central High School Pom Dance Team extended travel to Orlando, Florida, February 2024. Ms. Strankowski. She.
I'm on Zoom. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Michelle is there in person, so, and we're going on the same trip, so she could probably talk on it a little bit more since she's there. But both teams qualified through Badgerette Pom Pom. They qualified at Badgerette Midwest earlier in August, and it is a 5-day trip down in Disney, and they get to do a parade and take a hip hop class, and it's kind of just a week of celebrating dance and pretty much all the hard work that they put in all year. And Central has 8 kids going and 2 coaches, and Michelle could probably elaborate on how many they have going. This will be our 3rd year going if we're allowed to go, and we just have so many memories and so many traditions now that we're hoping to be able to uphold. And yeah, that's kind of my spiel. Michelle also took me when I was in high school, so it's kind of cool that we get to do that now.
Back here. So we do have 2 separate action items. 10.1 is for Central, 10.2 is for Hill. It is the same trip. If the board is okay, we could act on these things together and then you could speak and then we could just make a motion for both 10.1 and 10.2 if everyone's okay with that. Mr. Stickich, are you okay with that as well? Yes, he's okay with it. All right. So please.
Okay, exactly what Emma said. We were invited, both teams. It's really cool because Emma and I as coaches, we also room together and our teams kind of do some stuff together as well, which is really, really cool. Even though we're in Florida and we compete against each other, we're still, together and we have a great relationship as both teams. So we will be in the Magic Kingdom parade. As she said, the girls also take a dance class, the Disney dance class. So all the Disney characters that learn how to dance, we take classes, or not we, the girls take classes through them as well. And that's really cool. Then we have a few dinner and get together things that happen as well.
Any questions from board members? Jane.
How did the girls qualify to go? Like, how did they get in? Did they get invited? Can you
Yep.
tell us a little bit?
So
about
we
that?
were at a competition in Schaumburg, Illinois in August, and the top, Emma, tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was the top 10, 15 teams got
It was
invited to go. So that we earned it, by how we placed at the competition, Hale and Central separately. And yeah, so we are part of if we're able to go, we're part of the Badgerette Disney All-Star Tour.
Any other questions?
Move to approve.
1 second.
Nope.
I just wanted to publicly thank you ladies for allowing our cheerleaders to participate on today at our welcoming back ceremony. So thank you for that. And I think this is just another example of the camaraderie we're building between the schools. The young ladies they're already a team, it seems like. So thank you again for that.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. All right, with that, we have a motion for Ms. Kaiser, so I would need a second.
Second.
Second from Ms. Lee. All right, any last minute discussion? All those in favor? Aye. So get just a thumb up, opposed. All right, that passes, and that is for 10.1 and 10.2, just make sure we're clear on that.
Yep.
We can state that explicitly, we're good, all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so that, good luck, and I have a lot of luck. So before we break for a closed session, I do want to do our spiel to get into closed session before that, so. The board will convene into executive session. I need a motion in a second. For the board to convene in executive session in accordance with Wisconsin statute 19.5 parent 1 parent E to confer with district's legal counsel regarding the current lease of office space and the potential sale of school district property. Need a
Move to-
motion in a second.
Move to approve.
Motion,
Second.
second,
Thank
all right,
you.
and then we need a roll call vote for that.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Mrs. Kaiser,
Yes.
Mr. Sikich,
Use a thumbs up.
very good. Ms. Deal. Yes. Mrs. Lee. Yes. Mr. Keller is excused. Mr. Becker,
Yes.
Mrs. Carr,
Yes.
President Lee.
Yes, all right, and at this point, we will go into recess so we can get ready for a closed session. So we're recess.